Welcome today. We're diving into 4 Japanese motorcycles that just aren't selling. These models might not have hit the mark with buyers, but if you act fast, you might just snag one for a bargain. Number 4. Honda Rebel 300. There was a time when every major brand was chasing beginner riders. Lightweight, simple, and affordable cruisers were meant to open the door to motorcycling for newcomers. On paper, it looked like a sure thing. But once the Rebel 300 hit dealerships, it quickly became apparent this small cruiser might not be built for long-term success. Under the tank is a 286cc single-cylinder engine, putting out 27 horsepower and 19 lb-ft of torque. Plenty manageable for beginners. Weighing in at 364 pounds wet, it's one of the lightest full-size cruisers out there. A low 27.2-inch seat height and compact wheelbase make it super easy to control, especially at low speeds. Add in the bobber-inspired styling, chunky tires, and minimalist lines, and it definitely looks the part for first-time riders. At a glance, the Rebel 300 seems to tick all the right boxes. It's light, easy to handle, and carries just enough attitude to avoid looking like a starter. Bike. Honda's bulletproof reliability only adds to its appeal. The ergonomics are beginner-friendly too, with mid-mounted pegs and an upright seating position that's perfect for city cruising. It even includes a slipper clutch, once a premium feature only found on sport bikes. But once shoppers started digging deeper, cracks started to show. The biggest letdown? Performance. While 27 horsepower might look decent on a spec sheet, out on real roads it feels strained. Hitting highway speeds takes some effort, and staying there feels like you're pushing the engine to its limits. For any rider looking to grow with their bike, the Rebel 300 starts feeling too small, too soon. Then there's the price. With a base MSRP hovering around $4,900, the Rebel 300 ends up competing with larger, more capable bikes. For a little more cash, riders can move up to the Rebel 500 with its 470cc twin, 47 horsepower, and far better highway manners. Many simply skip the 300 and go straight to the 500, viewing it as a smarter long-term investment. Number 3. Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Vaquero. In the world of big baggers, every manufacturer wants a piece of the American cruiser pie. Kawasaki took a bold swing with the Vulcan 1700 Vaquero, a full-dress touring cruiser with serious power, comfort, and visual swagger. It had the brawn to challenge Harley and Indian directly. But despite its muscle, the Vaquero struggled to carve out its niche, and now it's often overlooked on showroom floors. The heart of the Vaquero is a 1,100cc V-twin, producing 81 horsepower and 107 lb-ft of torque. Tipping the scales at 845 pounds, this bike is built for stability on long hauls. It features a frame-mounted fairing, built-in hardbags, and a low 28.5-inch seat height. Power is sent to the rear wheel via a belt drive, through a 5-speed transmission with overdrive. Kawasaki also added cruise control, a 6-speaker sound system, and dual analog gauges for a true touring setup. Looks-wise, the Vaquero hits hard. A blacked-out engine, aggressive front fairing, and stretched saddlebags give it a custom, slammed stance straight from the factory. Kawasaki clearly aimed to tempt riders who like the road glide vibe, but want something different. The build quality is solid, and it absolutely commands attention whether parked or cruising. But once riders got miles under the tires, the Vaquero's shortcomings began to show. Despite its torque, acceleration feels tame compared to rivals. The engine favors smoothness over punch, and when paired with the bike's weight, it feels more like a heavyweight cruiser than a hot rod tourer. Quick passes and twisty roads highlight its lack of urgency. Fuel economy is another downside. The big V-twin drinks fuel quickly, with real-world averages in the low 30s. For cross-country riders, that means more stops and a higher travel bill. And while the bike is spacious, the ergonomics aren't for everyone. Wide bars and forward controls can feel like a stretch, especially for shorter riders. The suspension works fine on highways but gets harsh over rough pavement. Number 2. Yamaha Super Tenere 1200. In the adventure world, few names carry the same weight as the Super Tenere. Yamaha built it to take on any terrain, from highways to backcountry trails. It was rugged, reliable, and packed with features adventure riders craved. But as the ADV segment evolved, the Super Tenere fell behind, and now it's becoming harder to sell. It runs on a 1,999cc parallel twin, making 110 horsepower and 84 lb-ft of torque. Wet weight? A hefty 578 pounds. It's fitted with a 6-speed gearbox, shaft drive, and adjustable suspension for versatile loadouts. The electronics include riding modes, traction control, and linked brakes, all once cutting edge. When it first dropped, riders praised its go-anywhere toughness. It could handle rough terrain, haul gear, and stay composed. The upright ergos, adjustable windscreen, and comfort-focused seat design made it great for long hauls. Yamaha clearly engineered it with reliability and endurance in mind. But the traits that once made it great are now holding it back. The market has shifted toward lighter, more agile machines. Riders today want bikes that can conquer off-road terrain and feel lively and responsive. The Super Tenere's size and heft now seem out of touch. It also suffers in performance comparisons. While 110 horsepower is still respectable, rivals offer sharper power delivery and more advanced electronics, like cornering ABS and semi-active suspension. Even Yamaha's own Tenere 700 undercuts it on weight and cost while still offering great off-road chop. Price is another sticking point. Once seen as a premium offering, the Super Tenere hasn't evolved much, and buyers now question its value. Even with discounted prices dipping below $12,000, the older tech and heavy frame make it a tough sell. Number 1. Suzuki Boulevard C50. When you think of laid-back cruising, few bikes fit the image quite like the Suzuki Boulevard C50. Designed as a classic mid-size cruiser, the C50 was built to offer relaxed riding manners, nostalgic styling, and dependable performance, all without breaking the bank. On paper, it seemed like a recipe for success. But today, this once popular model is fading fast from buyer interest, as changing rider preferences and stiff competition leave it struggling to stand out. Powering the Boulevard C50 is an 805cc liquid-cooled V-twin, delivering 53 horsepower and 52 pound-feet of torque. While those numbers aren't eye-popping, they're more than adequate for casual riding, especially when paired with the bike's smooth 5-speed transmission and shaft final drive. Tipping the scales at roughly 611 pounds wet, the C50 strikes a balance between manageable size and highway-capable presence. A low seat height of 27.6 inches and relaxed ergonomics round out the package, making it approachable for newer riders or those simply looking for a no-fuss cruiser. Styling is where the Boulevard C50 shines. The deep fenders, wide tank, and generous chrome touches give it that unmistakable retro vibe. From a distance, it looks like a much larger machine, with proportions reminiscent of classic American cruisers. For riders who wanted that big bike look without the bulk or price tag of a full-dress touring rig, the C50 offered a convincing alternative. Its teardrop-shaped headlight, spoke wheels, and pulled-back bars all contribute to a timeless silhouette that remains visually appealing. Price used to be the Boulevard C50's biggest selling point, and in some ways, it still is. With MSRP hovering under $9,000 and frequent dealer discounts pushing it even lower, it's among the most affordable mid-size cruisers you can buy new. But when buyers compare it to slightly more expensive bikes with better tech, improved suspension, and stronger performance, many opt to spend just a bit more for something fresher. Today, the C50 often languishes in showrooms, overshadowed by newer models and overlooked by a generation of riders that demand more than just classic looks. It remains a solid option for those seeking simplicity, retro styling, and Japanese reliability. But in a rapidly evolving cruiser segment, it's increasingly difficult for the C50 to carve out its place. If you're a smart buyer who's willing to look beyond the latest hype and see the value in bikes that missed the marketing sweet spot, there's never been a better time to grab a killer deal. Which one of these would you ride home? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more insider motorcycle content every week.